Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Music Podcast once again. Thank you to my return visitors. Special thanks to my subscribers. I so appreciate you. You are the reason I can bring great guests like the one I have today, this beautiful, talented young lady, Ilianna Veramontes. Ilianna is a Nashville-based singer-songwriter and multi-instrumentalist. She is a Berklee College of Music alum, majoring in songwriting. She has recently signed to a new label called Highway Music, which is a subsidiary of the great Pavement Entertainment label, which we love so much here. She has also been a contestant on NBC's The Voice. And that was in 2017. She's got a brand new single. It's called A Year From Now. I can't even say the name of it without, floating on air. It's just so beautiful. A Year From Now is now available. Iliana's here to tell us all about it. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Yeah. A year from now.
Yeah, it's I can't even explain it. I put it on and it's like putting your head against the bus window and watching life go by. And it puts you in this ethereal kind of fantasy beautiful world. And your voice is just so uplifting, so comfortable. Um, and I wonder, when you listen to it, are you able to go to those special places like I am? Or, because it's you, you're attached to it. For me, there's a removal there of a listener, a fan, um, that can take me to a special place. When you listen to it, can you do that like with this song? Or is it, man, I should have maybe done this in the studio or, all the technical stuff. Does it take you to that place, that same place?
Yeah, it definitely does. I actually
But
think it's kind of crazy because I wrote this song like probably a year ago now, which is kind of funny. But when I wrote it, I was not anywhere near the like vibe of the song at all. I was actually like in kind of an opposite situation. But sometimes when I write, I like to write about situations or like topics that I'm not currently experiencing. And I was just like in a weird place, honestly. Like I was kind of like lonely, just in a weird vibe. And I had written like my fair share of sad songs, honestly. So with this one, I wanted to kind of like, this is gonna sound weird, but like manifest for myself and kind of like write something that is completely opposite to where I'm at. And now it's crazy because when I listen to it, I like am experiencing what I wrote in the song at this point in my life a year later. And it is interesting, like even for like the artist, when you write songs, your perspective changes just in different like times of your life, which is really cool, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah, and it grows. It grows with the person. It grows with the artist.
Yeah.
I'm just reading a book, Rick Emmett from Triumph Road, and well, I don't know, it's on his new record, but he goes through talks about layers, where, you write the song and then it gets time, it gets involved with it and it
Mhm.
changes. People get involved with it, culture
Yeah,
changes.
definitely.
So all that changes the song, for better or for worse. But the song doesn't really remain the same. it, it
Yeah.
it it does change, and that's got to be a little bit scary for a songwriter. You put that out there. You have a certain vision for your art.
Mhm.
And once you put it out there, it's kind of not yours anymore. It belongs to the world,
Yeah.
and the world will change it. Is that ever a thought? Do you ever hold anything back? Like, something that's really personal to you, maybe, or, and it's like you're afraid to
Yeah.
put it out there because you don't want it to change. Is that ever occur for you?
Yeah, it definitely does. I think because the way that I write too is very like experience based. Like I think a lot of it, like even though like with a year from now, I think that's why I like it so much is because I wrote it not without having like having been in that experience in the moment. But I think for the most part, like all of my writing is based off of like personal experiences. And so when it's something that is like not such a fun topic to talk about. It is just scary to like expose that and expose like your brain to everybody, and like they are just open to judge however they want and take it how they want. And yeah, once it's out there, it's just out there for
Yeah,
everyone. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a weird thing.
Yeah, you dress up the song, and then when you put it out, it's kind of naked in front of the world, and we put our own dressing on it, if you will, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit scary, but
It's
yeah, you
also
haven't,
really cool though.
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's why like it's like the beauty of music too, is finding like vulnerability in other people's words too, and that's why we all relate to it so much. So
yeah, yeah, excellent. You have another song called "Close to You," similar in instrumentation, and pace. It's a softer acoustic song. It's what you do is really so well. But a pretty different vibe. And I see a writer on that, Jeremy Flegel. Uh,
yeah.
okay, so I look at Jeremy, and I did a little search. He's a Bay Area guy. You have some parallels. Bay Area guy, went to Berklee. Um, so it got me thinking about your writing process, because you're a songwriter yourself. Do you work with other songwriters? Do you work with Jeremy a lot? How does your songwriting process work?
So it really just depends. Honestly, like I think when I first started writing, I was always writing by myself. And I think I like to do that a lot, honestly, because I have like honed down on like my process and like what works really well for me.
Hmm?
And I love writing by myself because I don't know, it's just my like time, it's my space. But I also have a few people that I love their opinions on, and I like to write with other people. Like Mark has set me up with like Blair Daly and like Zach Malloy, and they're great songwriters. And you know, getting in a room with them is just so awesome because they bring such new perspectives and like ideas, and that's really really cool because it comes up helps me come up with things that I maybe wouldn't have before, or like try things that I wouldn't have before. So I definitely like a good balance of both. I think too much of one thing can be not good, especially like when I realize sometimes when I'm in a rut, and I'm usually because I start to lose perspective because it's only me, you know?
Right.
So that's usually when I'll like bring a song to somebody and be like, "Hey, like listen to this. I'm stuck on this. Let me know what you think." And usually I've gotten like some really great co-writes out of just doing that. Like, and vice versa. I have friends who will bring me songs that they're stuck on, and then the next thing you know, we're like writing the whole thing together.
Yeah, yeah, and I do think that's great. I always like it's very difficult to be by yourself and write different things and keep it interesting for the listener, and not repeat yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
There are a lot of people that can do that, but it's a difficult thing, I think. So another set of eyes, another set of ears, I think is really
Yeah.
a great.
And with your question about Jeremy, so he he's in LA. He is an awesome like guitarist and producer. He would make tracks for me, and that would be another like amazing way to write. But yeah, he's phenomenal. So like it definitely would just bring like a new spark, I think, because I always just start with piano or guitar. So starting with like something that's more set in stone is really another cool way to like write as well. So
Yeah. And I should ask you this first. I see on the single you're billed as Ilianna. Um, is that what you want going forward? One name, or are you going to be Ilianna Viramontes?
oh, this is like what me and Mark keep going back and forth on. Because I love my full name, but I also like love my first name just as it is.
Hmm.
I think right now we're leaning towards just Iliana
Hmm.
because it just kind of has a ring to it, and it's just Iliana. It's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
think that's what we're gonna end up like honing in on. So
okay. Yeah. And I have to agree. It works both ways, which is great. You're very, very fortunate in that way. It's really a great, elegant name, Viramontes. It just, it works either way. So you
Yeah.
can't
Thank you,
lose
my
with
parents.
can't lose with that one for sure. Um, so you grow up in the Bay Area,
Mhm.
Brentwood, California. You go to Berkeley, across the world. You end up in Nashville. You got a triangular thing here, and this is all before 25 years of age. Uh, you're obviously 100% dedicated to a career in music. That is quite obvious. Um, have you ever given a thought to a plan B, so to speak?
I
Good for
have not.
good for
I
you.
never have. I feel like having a plan B would just be like doubting myself immediately, and I don't like that.
Hmm.
So, 'cause you can't, I mean, obviously everybody has their moments where they're like, like this is really hard, and like,
Sure.
everyone, it's natural, but I've never let myself have a plan B because I do not want one. And I really think, yeah, like I said, it'd just be part of me like giving up before saying it because I'm like, I don't need a plan B. So
Yeah. Yeah, good for you. Good for you. I've come to know, from living a lot of years, that you figure out life. It throws you curveballs. You'll have a plan. It throws you a curveball. You figure it out. We're survivors. It's what we do. So no matter what happens, it's gonna you'll figure it out for sure.
yeah.
Um, I'm on Instagram. I see a post from one of my dearest, precious friends. And it's a post that has a picture of you in it. I said, wow, look at that. That's Ilianna. And of course, it's Mariah, Mariah Formica. Um, Precious, precious, beautiful, wonderful person. I treasure her so much. And I met Mariah when she was 15. We did an interview. So there's a lot of years with her. Singer for Plush, of course, for those who aren't aware, a voice alum, as well. Um, you go on The Voice. She was on The Voice. And I know you're good friends. What what was that experience like? Did you call up Mariah and say, "Hey, this is going on," or what was that experience like for you?
So actually me and Mariah were on the same team on The Voice. So that's how we met. Yeah, so we
Oh,
met on the same season. So
wow. Okay.
we always laugh about this story because we're so alike in certain ways and our moms too. So like me and her were very much like to ourselves and during that experience and like we're both really close to our family and our moms and both of us at that point we were both like minors so our moms were there and we always laugh about this because like me and her had like passed by each other and we'd been like oh hey like da 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 but we were both like just really shy and then I remember one day we were sitting at the pool and our mom started talking and I didn't realize that that was like her mom. And I was sitting at the pool with my jeans and my like combat boots and it's like 80 degrees outside and my mom's like, "Oh my gosh, like why are you out here with your jeans and your boots?" And then I see Mariah walk by in her jeans and her black boots. And like we see our moms go like, "Oh, and look at Mariah with her jeans on." And then my mom's like, "Oh my God, look at my daughter sitting over there with her jeans on." And then next thing you know, it was really our moms that got us talking. And ever since then, like we've been best friends. So I think I met her, I was 17 when I met her. I'm about to be 26. So we've been friends almost like a decade now. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's pretty awesome, and she is so wonderful.
She's
And I mean, I talked to her at 15, and it was like she was the most level-headed, focused person I've ever spoken to. To
mm,
this day, probably and here she is, doing her thing exactly like she had planned. So,
yeah.
it's pretty cool that you guys end up on the same label.
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
pretty cool, pretty cool. Of course, Plush and Mariah do that hard rock thing for the most part. It varies a little bit, but that's what they do. Um, do you ever see yourself doing something, exploring your voice in other genres, maybe a hip hop thing or maybe a hard rock thing or something like that? Do you ever see yourself do it? Because you do what you do and you do it so, so well. And I'm sure all the education you have and everything, you've explored what your voice can do and your abilities. But for your artistic flair and your wants and needs, do you ever want to explore and step outside of your genre?
Yeah, I'm always open to it. I think, especially like being in Nashville, where I'm surrounded by a genre really that's not my own.
Right.
I think there's so much value in like learning how other people um and other genres like create, and also like yeah, like talking about Mariah, like seeing how she creates and stuff. It's there's always something new to learn, and I think that's like so cool. So I'm always open, and I also like when I write and when I write with other people, all of my friends like for the most part they do like different genres, different subgenres too. So like I like as a writer like to dabble in other things as well. And also like at Berklee, a lot of our like classes we were challenged to try new things like that. And so it is just like really cool. I mean, there's so much to learn, like I said, and like take from for yourself. Like I think like even since I released Close to You, I try to like add different things and techniques and try new things that I hadn't tried before.
Mhm.
Also with like production too, like I have like some of my songs that like I have a song coming out that I'm working on. I mean we're working on like a whole EP, but like the one I did with Blair and Zach, like even them like because they do a lot of rock and country. So writing with me was like doing pop, but because they have that background, they brought some new elements to that song that I probably maybe wouldn't have thought of.
Right. Right.
So I
And
think it's really cool. I think like I really love like pop alternative and like different subgenres of pop, and I think that's kind of what I would dabble in mostly.
yeah, yeah. And I love it just the way it is. Like I said, you created a world that is it's a place for me to go. And I think that's the beauty of music for me as a fan is, all of this behind me, they're all different journeys. They're all places to go.
Yeah.
And you've created another one for me, and I thank you for that.
I love that. That's literally like what I think about when I write and like have like production is like that's kind of what you said, like the word ethereal. That's literally like what I think of too when I like think of the vibe and the production and everything, because that's how I picture myself, like especially when I write, I'm kind of in like La La Land. I go to like a different place. And that's how I
Good.
always that's like one of my favorite ways to experience music too, is how you just described it. So I'm so happy that you said that.
I am too. Happy to have it. And I'm happy to hear you say that you can, because I really thought about that, and I said, if I was that close to it, I don't know that I could step back and think of it as any other way, but the technical things,
Yeah.
but you do, and that's a beautiful thing. It is really a beautiful thing. Um, living in Nashville right now, home of the session musician. Uh, there are so many musicians in Nashville, and so many that are doing, 3 gigs a day kind of thing. Um, if you had to do sessions, now you're a performer, you're out there, you're on stages. Um, if you had to do sessions or, commercial marketing, jingles, to make a living, would that be enough for you?
If that's all I did,
Yeah.
probably not.
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, I think I would always itch for like that, like, I would always itch for more because I've experienced more already.
Right.
And so not having that, I feel like that would be really sad because that's part of like what I love so much, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you are in a great place. Obviously Nashville is full of music, full of opportunity. It's really great. And I've talked to a lot of session musicians that work in Nashville, and they do what they do, and they're happy doing it. They play some things on the weekends or something, but
Yeah.
they do what they do, and I think it's like anything else. You have to be happy with what you're doing. If not, then money's not going to help that really. A little maybe, but not really.
Yeah.
You have to satisfy your soul, I think, and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, yeah. You mentioned an EP. Uh, when will we see more music? How are you going to put it out? You're going to put out an EP then?
Yeah, so me and Mark have been in the works with it. So there's gonna be 5 songs. All of them are done. It's really just producing them now. So a year from now, obviously, we nailed that one out like fast. My producer, Jonathan Cole, he's so amazing. He plays keys for me too. Um, we got that one done in less than a month, which is crazy. But like I had already because I have everything like ready. And it also helps because we've done shows together and he like saw my vision and like everything for the songs, which is really cool and it makes it easy or easier, I guess. So right now we're in the process of recording the second one. This one will probably be done in the next couple weeks, probably. Then we'll start the next one and so on. So everything is just in the process. So it'll be done by the summer, I'm hoping. That's kind of the deadline we're putting on it. Probably gonna release another single before then. But just grinding on it. So we're just
It's
going and
great.
going.
It's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool. And I think about summer, and I'm listening to a year from now, and it's 20 degrees outside and snow on the ground and
Oh
kind
my
of thing.
gosh.
But it still has that uplifting sunshine thing happening. So
Yeah.
it's you've created something there that transcends the environment you're in. So and I think about releasing something of that nature in summer. It's really summer songs, and it's a great time to have things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really,
That's kind
really.
of what I was thinking to it. It matches the summer feeling. So
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, and I asked this, you're a beautiful woman, and I always wonder because I'll go to shows and I see somebody that's very attractive, and a lot of people don't, they have trouble getting past it. There's guitar players, I don't want to name names, but there's guitar players, they're just gorgeous. Uh, and the takeaway from it is, wow, she's gorgeous, or she's hot, or whatever. Uh, Did you hear her play? You know what I mean? It's like I'm thinking about,
yeah.
yes, she is, but so there's also like the shield of beauty for some people. And I feel like that's something that you would have to overcome, I guess is the right word, fight through to have your voice heard. Because there's a I mean, entertaining is, I think, an all-around presentation. It's sound and vision, and they work together. And I mean, you can't, it's what we crave as humans, I think. But I think, when you have that overwhelming beauty, that you have to fight through that with, the essence of what you're doing. Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever feel like, you have to struggle a little harder to be heard, have the voice heard?
Whenever I feel like I'm not being heard, it's usually I don't know if I think it was because of beauty. I think it might also just be like just the fact of being like a woman in this industry too. Because I think whenever I perform, I really feel like when people hear me, I and like what I have to say, it transcends, and hopefully that's true.
Mhm.
Um, because I don't know, I feel like at least for me, I don't know if this is true for or if this is not true for Mariah or whoever, but like I don't know if I've ever felt like that was like a problem for me actually,
Good, good.
which is like I mean it's good. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it definitely is. It definitely is. And I kind of do that when I go to shows and things. I kind of stand back and I listen. And I've seen Plush 13 times now. So I stand and I kind of listen to the reaction to get an idea of, what the takeaway is. And that they're a band that's pretty strong. So but they're all beautiful. They're all,
Oh,
and that's, when I can see when everybody steps up, they take to a person, in a physical sense, in an eyes, visual sense, and then you slowly see the music work ahead of that. Uh,
yeah,
so but it doesn't always happen. It's it's strange to actually see.
yeah,
I take the time to observe that because the music's so important to me. And
yeah. It really that's the most important part,
sure, sure.
I
Uh,
think, or like what people have to say and how they express that.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't think there'll be any problems with your voice getting out there for sure. It's so good.
Thank you.
Um, so tell me if we're gonna wind up and say your phone rings. I don't. That really doesn't happen anymore, does it? But say your phone rings. Who would you want most to have on the other end of that call?
Just in general, like in
Yeah,
a business
just
sense.
just in a professional sense, I guess.
Oh, professional sense.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If this were ever possible, I would want Taylor Swift to call me.
That's cool. That's cool. What would you say to
That
Taylor
is like,
Swift?
I know
What-
people are like, oh my gosh, Taylor Swift, but like, ugh, I love her. I just do.
Oh, she's amazing. I
She's
mean,
incredible.
nobody can argue that. I mean, come on.
I
You don't have
know.
to really like what she does, but she's incredible.
Love what she
So
does. She's like the most consistent artist that I've listened to since I was like 8. And it's crazy. I think that's why I think her music is so special because I can listen to a song I related to when I was 8 years old and relate to it now still at 25. Like that's so cool. I think that's so special. I don't think a lot of people have that like
yeah, yeah.
ability. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. My daughter is your age, and it's a thing. Uh, it's she listens to a lot of things. She'll go from country to Slayer. So she's everything in between. But the Taylor Swift stuff it's what she grew up with.
Yeah,
It always hits the right way,
it
and
really does.
it's a gift, and that's voice, songwriting, appearance, all of that. Just it's a full package for sure. Will we see you out on tour? Is that something that you've thought of? Something you want to do? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's something I would love to do, honestly. That's like my dream. I've never been on a tour yet, but that's something that me and Mark have talked about. Once we get like this first project out and we get things going, that's what like my goal would be. So I definitely really want a tour. So
That's cool. That's cool. And
yeah,
Mark's by me here in Chicago, so I know you'll be passing through here if you get on a tour. So I'm excited.
yes, you'll have to come.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to see you. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so happy you landed with Mark and Pavement and all of those guys. They're just so great. And yeah, please, if you ever, when the EP hits or the tour, come back and see me. We'll
I
do
definitely
it.
will. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll see you in Chicago, maybe.
Yes, of
All right,
course. Gosh.
all
Well, thank
right.
you so much for your time. This was so awesome.
Cool. It was so much fun. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's so
Uh,
good to meet you.
doors always open. Please remember. All right.
Yes.
All right. See you, Ilianna. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.